Hey YouTube, how you doing? Alright, yeah, today we're going to do a collection view in 3 steps with a bonus step at the end. This is written in Swift, Swift 5 with iOS 12, and let's get into it. So the steps here are to add the collection view to the ViewController, set collection view data source and delegate, and add the protocols, which are kind of the same step. And then complete at least 2 of the collection view methods because those 2 are required. And we'll see what those are in a minute. And then for the bonus, we're going to change the size of the cell. There's a lot of things you can do with collection view that you can't do in table view. Table view kind of already has a vertical setup like this, but with a collection view you can display arrays of objects in, maybe a more user-friendly way for your app. So yeah, let's get going. And we're going to go into Xcode. We're going to create a new Xcode project. And it's going to be right here. Single view app. CollectionView. I had a problem in one of them where I spelled something the same and it gave me issues. So I'm just going to intentionally misspell all these things from now on. And actually, whoops, don't want to use core data, not necessary for this one. And we want to save it in the desktop. And there we go. So now we have our new app here. I actually meant to create a Git repository, because I'm going to push this so you guys can take a look at it. So the first thing we're going to do, step 1, we're going to go into the main storyboard and we're going to add this collection view. And you can see here, there it is, just drag it in here. And then we're going to use auto layout, which always tries to show up in the bottom of the screen. So I'm going to zoom it up so you guys can see what I'm doing here, or bring it up here. And we're going to make all these constraints 0. We want it to touch the edges. And we're going to add those constraints. And so there it is. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go in here and make sure the collection view itself is highlighted. And we're going to set the data source and the delegate to self. So you can either do this in code. Let me show you how to do it in code. It would just be collection view. Oh, okay, first we need to go in here, add collection view delegate. This you have to do in code. UICollectionView data source. So we're going to add those there, and then we're going to take collection view. Well, in order to do this, we have to take this, and we're going to have to control drag over here and say collection view. And there we go. And we're going to say collection view dot data source equals self, referring to this view controller. Collection view dot delegate equals self. But actually, I want to show you a different way, just in case you need to, or in case you want to do it this way. This is the way that I like doing because it saves a couple lines of code, and you don't have to add the variable that we just dragged over. So you highlight the collection view here, and you take this where it shows up. You want to click this one, and data source. You want to drag it, and you want to drag it over to the little circle up here. And you want to set data source and delegate. So that's the exact same as everything we just did. Has the same effect. And now we're going to go in here, and we're not going to need this, so let's just comment it out. Now it's going to say type ViewController does not conform to protocol stubs, because there are 2 required functions, which brings me to the next step. And these required functions are number of items in section, and they are self-arrow at item at. Or cell for item at, cell for row at item at. Oh my gosh, I'm in table view mode, guys. I've been working with table views for a while. Let's put that down here, and we want to. Okay, so let's just create something that we're going to put here real quick. Now, I want to change the background color for each individual cell. And we're going to do this by code real quick. And it's going to be a variable. Well, let's do a let. It's, it saves a little bit of memory. So we're going to let background colors equal, and it's going to be an array. And in that array, we want UIColor.black, maybe, yeah, UIColor.blue, UIColor.red, UIColor.brown, whatever, UIColor.green, one more, UIColor.gray. I like that one. And so for number of items in section, it's expecting, you see, it's expecting an output of an integer. So in here we have to put return and then an integer. So, whatever, it's expecting an integer. But what we're going to do is we're going to refer to this array that we created up here, which Xcode automatically realizes when you put brackets in multiple items that it is an array of something. And it's an array of UI colors. So see, it says UI color, and it's Xcode has some great things to it. And as Swift keeps going, this is why I jumped into Swift right now, because I think it's got nowhere to go but up. With ABI stability in Swift 5, they're taking a step that says, hey, we are committed to Swift. They've been saying it since day one, but it's nice to see, especially with the AirPower thing, going south. They're sticking with Swift, and that's for sure. So I want to return background colors .count. And that'll give us the right amount of cells. You have to have the right amount of cells to talk to the cells themselves. So here in the collection view, we have cell for item at, and that we need to put in CollectionView .deque reusable cell, and we're actually going to create a cell instance here so we don't have to type that every time. CollectionView deque reusable cell with identifier, and we haven't set the identifier. What we want to do is go into main storyboard, click the cell itself, go to this inspector, and we want to type in, let's just do demo cell, just for these purposes, and it has to match up what we put in here, and it is a string, so we put it in quotes, demo cell. See, there's no autofill for this one. So make sure you get the spelling right. And then for index path, there we go. And so now what we want to do is that we have the cell, so cell dot background color, and we want to make it equal to whichever row that it starts counting from here. So with any kind of coding, really, it's going to start 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is really 6, but computers think it's 5. But that was just some background information for the background color. Hey, and then so background color is going to equal our background colors array, and we're going to go in and we're going to say index path dot item. So if you've ever done table views, it's really similar. It's like index path dot row. And then, yeah, I have another video on table views. It's a lot like this one, frankly, but little bit different. I'm showing the the spacing and the sizing in this one after I'm done with this part. And I want to return the cell. And so for right now, that's it. I want to delete that just to get the outlet out of there that we created, and then go in here. It's just nice to, whenever you have things that you're not referring to just get them out of there. You don't want it like mucking up things. So that should build and run. Let's see what we got here. All right, and as you see, we have this very dull collection view with the different background colors. So we have it set up properly. But I kind of want it to, you know, say like black here, blue here, red down here, brown down here, and it's gonna, you know, go like that. So let's change the size of these cells. And in order to do that, well, we have to go in and we have to add a new protocol called UICollectionView, not layout, UICollectionView delegate flow layout. There we go. And then down here, let's say CollectionView layout size for item at. And then in the size for item at, we want to, it's expecting to see a CG size right here. So we want to return a CG size that is a width and a height. And so where it says CG float or double or integer, if you put whichever one you put there, it's going to understand it. So you could put in basically any number here, and it'll pick up on it. But so what we want to do is we want to take this and right here we want, like I said, like black to take up half that screen, and then blue to take up the other half, and then for it to go down, and for the red and then brown. So so what we're going to do is we're going to create a calculation that finds the height of this, or the width of the view itself, which is the whole screen, and we're going to return that, and we want to take half that. So let me just show you how that works. So create let width equal CollectionView dot frame dot width divided by 2. Jeez. And don't know why I put parentheses there. We don't need them. And then we're going to take the height, and we're going to say width, I don't know, times 2. Yeah, I guess that would look good. All right. So we'll do width, and then height is height. And let's build and run. Let's see how that looks. Spoiler alert, it's not what we wanted. Okay, so as you'll see, this is the collection view that we have received. And so why, you may ask, if we did it by 2, why aren't they side by side? And that is because there is a margin that is automatically set that is right there in between those cells. So when you saw the little squares, you saw how there was a little bit of space between them, and that space is screwing us up in our calculations here. So we want to get rid of that space. And how do we do it? Thanks for asking. Another function in the delegate flow layout that we've created here that is called minimum line spacing. Yeah, I really screwed that one up. Minimum line spacing for section at, and it's expecting us to return a CG float, which is basically any kind of number. And we want them to touch, so because divided by 2 is gonna leave us with no space. So let's just return a flat out 0 and see what that does. So now we've got one step is that these two are touching, so that's one thing I wanted to set up. And so yeah, the minimum line spacing for the sections is more like when it goes to the next row, what it's going to look like. So the next thing that we need to do is the interim line spacing. And that we're also going to return 0. All right. And when we build and run, there we go. This is exactly what we wanted. And yeah, that's it. So I'm going to go ahead and commit and push this to GitHub. Let me show you how to do that just in case you're wondering. So I'm going to go to source control commit and there's no remote. Well, first I'm going to show you how I did the remote. So we're going to cancel that, go in here, collection view, and we're going to create a collection view remote. Now you have to go in and add your GitHub account to Xcode, but it's pretty simple. Here's mine, and it's the description for use with step-by-step collection view tutorial, and it's public. You guys please do check it out. If you're having any trouble, hopefully this will set you straight. And if you want to come copy the code and paste it into yours because you're just like, whatever, I don't want to do this, then you can do it. I think the best way is to learn new things. But hey, a lot of successful coders do it that way. So now we're going to go into the commit, and it's going to show everything that we've done since we created the Git repository. This stuff is all basic, and then the stuff that we've added is all highlighted, which is pretty much the whole app. And see, ViewController, it's all new. So we're going to say created collection view and edited layout, and we're going to push it to the remote, which is the remote I just created. So it's going to commit 2 files and push. There we go. Check it out. I'll put a link in the bottom for you guys to go take a look at it. And yeah, thanks for watching.